Hello, hello, hello. It's Renee Bird for another exciting episode of the Who Am I Talk. And I'm here with a wonderful queen, an amazing lady, an entrepreneur called Cordelia Kate. And she is the founder of the Rebellious Business Network. I love the sound of that. I love a little tuck and pull. And we're going to sit here and have a good chat about her story. Obviously, she's a multiple entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur involved in loads of different things. And hopefully you can be inspired by her. So lovely to talk to you, Kate.
Oh,
Delia, how are you?
so everyone calls me Kate. It's
Oh,
really fun.
it's funny. I naturally just did that. And I was like, okay, it's a bit weird, but it's funny because you got like two names, haven't you? Your first name is your
Yeah,
first name and your second name could be your first name. So Cordelia
yeah,
Kate, so
exactly.
that's okay.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to get to meet you and to be sharing this space with you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And your story is really exciting. I think for any entrepreneur listening, definitely Cordelia is an amazing entrepreneur. She's been involved in loads of things from being a nurse, now being a founder, working with the mentors.com, from being a waitress, working with some of the top multiple celebrity chefs. You've done it all. So how did it start? I know I've heard and I read some of your story. It was a bit tough. So what happened at the beginning? What's grafted you into who you are as the woman that we see?
Yeah, when I get this question, I don't know where to start. I don't know whether to start when I left school at 13, when I was homeless at 15, or when I decided to go from being a nurse to an entrepreneur. I guess, like, just to give a brief background on those early days, I was massively off the rails as a teenager. I was really badly bullied at school and I just didn't want to be there. I was wanting to grow up, be an adult and just work. And so I did that. I got into restaurants. I was a waitress. And then I ended up working with Jamie Oliver in his flagship restaurant. And that was really, really fun. But the problem is that I just started to burn out. Like, there was no fulfillment there. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the, like, work hard, play hard philosophy of the restaurant world. But there was no soul there for me. And so someone was saying to me, look, go and get your schooling back. Like, go and be a nurse, because it's what I'd wanted to be since I was a kid. And one day I just had enough and I was like, fine, do you know what? You're right. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to get my GCSEs. I'm going to do all of that. And I did. And I got into nursing school at Oxford Brookes and I became a nurse. But meanwhile, at home, I'm got married during my nursing course to the guy that I had been with since I was 15. He kind of rescued me, if you like. I was not on the streets. I was sofa surfing, staying anywhere I could, but he gave me a pair of new shoes and looked out for me. He put food in my belly and whatever. And he was Pakistani and I was with him for a long time. And when I was going through my nursing course, we got married and I lost a baby. And then I ended up having my first child. And actually during that nursing, it was a diploma, not a degree. But during the diploma, I had 3 children. So I actually gave birth to 3 children before I got graduated, even though I started and I wasn't married and I wasn't pregnant. So that was literal blood, sweat and tears. And the day that I graduated and found out that I'd somehow managed to get a distinction on top of all the stress it took to get there. But things weren't good at home. Like, the relationship was quite toxic. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And I actually started my first business with my ex-husband to try and bring some stability, to try and bring an income, to try and be able to, like, have something for him to focus on and do, because he had supported me through my nursing, but he didn't have his own thing. I don't want to talk about his journey. I want to talk about my own experience, because it's not my place to speak about his journey. But that was the reason. That was why I started my first business, and it was an eBay business, right? So we were importing ride-on cars from China and selling them on eBay, and again, no fulfillment from that whatsoever. But I was nursing at this point, and I was pregnant. Like, I was nursing, and I had 3 children under the age of 4 at home, and I'm running this business, and it was just, like, absolutely exhausting, because it was me doing everything. You know, I was the one, you know, putting the listings, building the website. I would get home from a 13-hour shift and I would crack on with it. You know, I was just on it. And eventually I was like, enough. I'm not enjoying this. We're not making any profit. Like, it's just, and I quit at that business.
Yeah.
Takes a lot for me to quit something.
But you took the balance and realized, because you can be we have to be really careful when we have stuff. Sometimes we're doing so much work, but the output actually doesn't balance itself out. So you could be putting your input into something better where you can see dividends. So you just made a decision, which made sense to me completely.
Yeah. There were elements of that I loved. Like, I loved the creativity of being able to make graphic design and build a website and get a message out there. Like, I really loved that, but I just hated the physical product element of it, like waiting for a postman or whatever. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to start a business, but this time I'm going to start a business for me, because I've decided that I love this thing, but I need to find something that I can do online that doesn't require me to, you know, have a physical box that I need to send out and get returns with and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's when I ended up finding affiliate marketing, and I just absolutely loved it, because I discovered the world of marketing, which in hindsight was the missing piece to my business, you know, branding and marketing and all those fundamentals of what makes up a business. And so I started learning about all of that, and I got really damn good at it. It wasn't until, like, it wasn't within my plan that I was going to leave nursing. Like, I loved nursing. Yeah. I can honestly tell you, like, there was never a moment where I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and was like, yeah, I'm going to work.
I found it.
Like, those moments didn't happen, right? No. But they do now, because what happened is I just discovered my absolute passion, which is entrepreneurship, business, helping people to change their lives. And I love that so much. Yeah. There was a lot of guilt around that, by the way.
Was there?
Yeah, like state funded.
Did you feel like, I mean, a nursing profession, even in this climate right now, the beauty that you were doing for people who are going through stuff through COVID and just beyond, because, you know, we've been talking about COVID, but there's people that need treatment and they've not got treatment because of COVID. So caring comes in all shapes and forms. But that was a natural, as they say, it's kind of like a natural nurture in you, and you did that. But how I heard you speak about your passion, that is something really powerful about finding that inner passion that you then develop, and then you make it into something, and then it's given back. So you're doing the same kind of thing. You're not nursing, but you're caring in your business. Am I right?
Yeah. I discovered what the disconnect was. I did some work with a guy to help uncover what my life purpose was. And I had a massive realization, which was that my thing is to help people to really step out and be themselves, you know, to stop blending in or following the sheep, and just like really be yourself. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. I think it's the way to win a business, and branding, I think it's just so powerful in every dimension. And you, in nursing, there wasn't an ability to do that, because especially in emergency nursing, you're on a conveyor belt with people. So you can't really spend enough time with them to really sort of see a change or make an impact, because you pass them on to another nurse and you never see them again. Yeah. And what I'm doing now is I'm working with people to really change their lives and actually make those changes, implement those changes, and be part of a community and everything whilst you do that, and have that level of support. And I think I discovered that, you know, a tangible product is not the only way to run a business. And also being a nurse is not the only way to help people. And I found these different abstract avenues of where I could really make an impact and really make a difference and help and support people at the same time as, you know, running a business and all of that thing, without it being in the traditional form of what we think, you know, business and helping people is as we grow up as children.
I love that. It was a fulfillment in what you were doing. So what you started doing was setting you up to where you are now. And it's interesting, as you said, the caring, nurturing level of nursing is what you're doing, but it's in a different form. So you are looking after people, but you're giving them the ability to see who they are so they can grow and they can take, you know, they can take their power. Because a lot of people, I'm sure you've come across, don't believe in themselves or don't even see the beauty that they have inside of them or their passion. And you've come along to help guide that. And that's powerful.
It's amazing how many people really want change, but they have no idea what direction to go in, because they don't know who they are, right? They just work so hard, or perhaps they're raising children or looking after other people, especially women, right? We're always looking after other people. We're, you know, trying to keep the food on the table and keep the bills going, and really just can lose ourselves. And I think that it's such a big problem. Like when I hear people saying, yeah, I help people to uncover their passions, I want to do a little yeehaw, because like it's amazing. We need more of those people in the world. But I also think that it just takes action taking. You got to open a door, go through that door, figure out what's in that room, and then there may be other doors in there and eventually you find the one. But you don't do that from sitting on the sofa or staying stuck in a job that you hate, you know, because you got to test things, you got to try different avenues. So yeah, I just stumbled across mine, which is amazing. And it wasn't smooth. Like, it wasn't a smooth transition at all. I started affiliate marketing, and then I went on to, you know, leave nursing after 6 months, because I was making enough money to do that now, replace my income. And like I said, there was a lot of guilt around that, because it was state funded. I'd worked really hard to do it, and I was a nurse for 1.5 years, and now it's like I'm going in a different direction. And I was like, you know, like, why aren't I fulfilled in that? Like, what is the does that mean that there's something wrong with me? Like, am I not a good person? Like, do you know what I mean?
Interesting, isn't it? Because people do, you know, I know that's happened a lot in this season, in this climate. A lot of people have been in self-reflective mode. You've had no choice but to be. You spent more time with yourself than you ever have, more time with your partners than you ever have, your family, and you've now looked at what matters. We realize how much it is important for our health to be completely in the best possible way ever. We never used to really do that, but now we understand, and we'll be measuring and exercise, and everyone's doing exercises on Netflix and all of that. Now more than ever, we are in a self-discover mode, and we realize what matters, and we realize how precious life is. So because of that, we're now going, who am I, and what should I really be doing? And it's not easy, as you just said, to take that plunge, to move away from something which is steadfast, and then to walk out in faith. That's what you did. And then not knowing what's going to happen, how am I going to make money? And also, you're a mother. Mothers want to make sure their babies are okay. So you took this plunge, not only for yourself, but also the risk assessment. You had to take, my babies, I've got to eat, I've got to feed them. But there's something about being a mother that made you go, well, come what cook or crook, it's going to work. You are going to make it happen. So that in itself says so much. And listening, any woman here listening, if you want to take that plunge, go for it.
Yeah,
you will do all the right things. You're not going to be reckless in the decisions. You'll think about it, and then you'll know within your spirit it's time.
Yeah, it's so true.
And when did that all happen? What year? What was? It wasn't like an epiphany moment, but when was it? A gradual process, or did you?
It was 2018, January 2018, that I left nursing.
Oh, wow.
And I was still on the register, and I was still on the bank, and I could pick up shifts if I needed to. I'd transitioned out instead of just clean break. You know, I'd gone on to the bank and were picking up shifts, but I just picked up less and less shifts. And then one day was like, right, I'm not going to go back. I'm done. And what happened next was that I went to a retreat in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a business retreat. And whilst I was there, I had a session with a coach, and I had this massive realization. It was terrifying that I knew what I needed to do. And it was based on the thing that if I wanted to grow into the person that I was trying to become, I needed to surround myself with the right people. I needed to create an environment where I could grow and thrive in that environment. And I just knew in that moment that I had to leave. And honestly, it was terrifying. I came back from the Dominican Republic knowing that at some point I was going to leave my ex-husband, and I was going to go out on my own, but I had nowhere to go. I had about, I think it was £8,000 in the bank. Yeah. And obviously, when you're that early on in your business, you don't have that guaranteed income, right? It's like, okay, I just had that faith that everything's going to be fine. Everything will work out. And it actually happened sooner than I anticipated, because he sensed that something was off with me. And then we ended up having a massive argument. It wasn't very pretty. The kids were downstairs. I was like, do you know what? Enough. I am gone. And I left. he actually dropped me off because he wouldn't let me take the car. He wouldn't let me stay in the house. I had to either leave and leave the kids there, or leave and take the kids with me. So I was not going to leave the kids anywhere. So I took them with me. He dropped me off at my mum's house. There was no space for us there, but my stepdad had just bought a caravan. And so if you picture my mum's house, my stepdad is a lock keeper, right? So he manages the lock at a canal, and his house is on the other side of the canal. And there's no access to the house except for crossing the bridge over the river. I stayed in a caravan on the other side of the bridge in a car park with no electricity for 6 weeks whilst I waited for a house to come up. And so, you know, we'd go and have breakfast at mum's, and I would use her internet to carry on working, and I would drive all the way back to take the kids to school and drive back again. But it was, you know, it was rough in it, is what it was.
Basically.
Yeah. So we stayed there for 6 weeks, and then finally a house came up in the area. In fact, 3 houses came up. The first one rejected me. I think it was because my surname's not Kate. My surname is Ali, right? Because I was married to Pakistani.
Oh yeah, okay then.
Yeah.
So they thought, no, thank you. Really
my
bad.
middle name was Kate. So I think I got rejected because my last name was Ali, and we're like in the countryside, and they're a bit more funny out here, racist and whatever. So he didn't even meet me. He just rejected me, and nobody knew why. I'm just making assumptions here. The second place didn't want kids. The third place, the house I'm in now, it came up, and I was the first person to see it. I told them I'd take it, and we moved in, and so started rebuilding. Like I had nothing. I had a few bags. I went back to the house and managed to take the kids' beds and stuff like that, but we were literally starting from scratch. And I remember one of the girls from the business community, she was flying over to come to a meetup that we had planned in London, and she actually packed 2 suitcases full of stuff for my house: tea towels, cutlery, all like glasses, chopping boards, things that she just wasn't using. She just packed them, brought them over for me. And the community that I was in were just so supportive.
That's your angel, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That person, you know, because people don't realize it's just kindness. It doesn't hurt to look out for people. And that person decided all the way from another country, so you know what, let me set her up, let me make sure she's settled, she's got what she needs. And that's never going to leave. You can always remember that moment, no matter where you head in the future.
Yeah.
You need that, as I say, that community and that family to help, isn't it? So that's phenomenal. So you've gone through all of that, and how do you feel? Do you still have flashbacks of that? Obviously, it's your story. Do you?
Well, it doesn't even end there. Like that's just the beginning. That's like moved into this house, and then it was a case of, right, I'm on my own now. I haven't got him to fall back on. I haven't got money to fall back on. Like I need to like make this work. And so I ended up getting into 60 grand's worth of debt. I was putting rent on credit cards. I was putting Christmas presents on credit cards. I was putting school uniform on credit cards. And there was one day where I literally didn't have enough money to buy food for the kids. And I called my sister-in-law, my ex-husband's brother's wife. I called her and just like admitted to her like where I was at. And 2 hours later, she just rocks up with a boot full of food and just fills my fridge. And yeah, the other thing that happened was that I had a major car accident. So I moved into here in May, and in September I had a major car accident. I broke my pelvis in 6 places. I broke 4 of my ribs, and I was just completely out of, like, my laptop was crushed in half. I was like completely out of it for weeks. And like I say, you know, I ended up in 60 grand's worth of debt, and just being like, you know, just having that hope, like everything's going to work out, like everything's going to be fine. I can take another 4 grand out on a credit card because I'm going to earn money and I'm going to pay it off. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And it got to that point where I was like, oh my God, this is getting hairy now, because I have more going out than I had coming in. But, you know, miracles happen. I got hired as a business coach for mentors. You know, that brought me some stability. And last year we launched Rebellious Business, and we went to 6 figures in 9 months.
Yes. Are you kidding me? See, when they say there's grace and there's faith, look at that. And you know what? People would hear that journey and go, oh no, and look where it brought you to. And it's not over, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because that pain and the uncomfortable situation is what catapulted you. You went through all of that and you're still standing. So you said to yourself, well, that's it then, it's not going, can't go any more further down than I am. I can only move forward. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's stubborn determination.
Yes, it is. And you know what? I love your smiling still. Because some people, we all have our stories and our journeys, and sometimes it can get you down. But I love that you didn't give up and you kept pushing, and you did a lot, as I said, on your own. It's easy when you've got somebody else supporting and somebody else being your cheerleader. But you, on your own, still managed to push forward. Yes, you had a good network of people, which is so imperative in anything that we do. But you could have easily just got the covers occasionally and put it over yourself and said, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore, and given up. You had an accident that could have literally slowed everything down and caused you permanent damage, but you still came and stood back up. So when you are now helping these people in Rebellious Network, they go, no, you're all, hello guys, this is my story, what's yours? I did it, so can you. Am I right?
Yeah, I get asked regularly, and I have done for the last couple of years. And I didn't really realize this until one of my clients shared her story last year. And I had this epiphany moment. I get asked, like, I got 3 kids, I'm a single mom. How do you do it? Like, how did you do that when you were nursing? Have you got any tips? What tips have you got for me? And I'm like, I just did it. I don't have tips. I just did it. Like, and I realized last year, the reason why I managed to do it was because my why was bigger than I was.
I love that.
And this is in all my training now, and all the stuff that we do, it always, thank you, Simon Sinek, it always starts with why.
I've got the book, I've shared the book. Listen to me, this is one of the most powerful books I've ever read. And I always knew the why was there because that's who I am. I'm always about the end result. What's the purpose behind the passion? But when I read that, it went ding. I was like, okay, you're completely correct. Cordelia,
we will let ourselves down over and over and over again. But if your why is bigger than you and it's about other people, like mine was about my kids, creating a stable life for them, being able to give them the things that I wasn't able to give them. And then later it developed into like the bigger impacts that we want to have in the world, in terms of helping other people, other women and other men, to rise and to do the same thing. When you've got a reason to do something that is bigger than you, that's when it gets easy to get uncomfortable. That's when it gets easy to step outside your comfort zone, to step on stage and speak for the first time, to launch a room on Clubhouse when you don't even know what the app is, to do all of these things. Because if it's just about us, it's not strong enough.
Correct. It's bigger than us. Much bigger than us. So the Rebellious Network is last year. I've seen you've got loads of members. It's, as you said, 6 figures. How can people join? What will they get? So they join, or do they, what's the process to be a part of this network is the question, because I'm sure people are going to be searching after this and want to know, and then we'll ask you another question after that, but how can they get involved with this network? What's the stages for it?
Well, the beauty of it is that actually, like, it was never designed to be a business. Like it was literally the start of COVID last year. And I think it was because I didn't have my nurse's badge. My thought was like, what do people need right now? Like, what can I do to show up? I just made a big sale. I was okay with money for a couple of months. And I all the local networking events were being shut down. And so I was like, I'm just going to throw a networking event together. And it was like 25 people on a call, just lifting their spirits, giving them some guidance. And I realized, that these guys, that their biggest struggle was that they need more clients online. And I'm like, I'm an online business coach who can help you with that. And so every week, we were doing sessions on different marketing strategies, different things that you can do to get your story out there, your voice out there, to attract the kind of clients into your business that you want to throw a party for, that kind of stuff. Cool. And so we're free. Like, we've always been free. We always will be free. And it's a network that was put together to support people through COVID, but it's a big hit. Like, people love it. And I think they come for the networking, but they come back for the value. And so to join it, literally just sign up and you get your Zoom link emailed to you, and then you come join us on a Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Just search for Rebellious Business Network. and you'll find us.
Okay.
Or go to my Instagram account, cordelia.kate, and it's the link in the bio. But yeah, so it's a free network and it's an amazing community, and it's aimed at service-based business owners. So people that are trying to sell their own service as a product. So it might be coaches, consultants, trainers, designers, tutors, graphic designers, web designers, anybody that's selling their own talent, their own passion as a service, like the information product or that kind of thing. So service-based industry who are looking for more clients, or looking for collaboration, or just want some support, or just want a community of like-minded emerging entrepreneurs around them, which is one of the best things about it. The community is just insane. We run challenges sometimes, and the last challenge that we ran, we're all about community over competition, and the last challenge that we ran, there were some big prizes at stake, like £1,000 worth of prizes at the last one, £3,000 worth of prizes at the one before that, and the community just step out to support each other. They were jumping on Zoom calls to help each other on Canva. They were like, there was a new person coming in. They were like, oh, you're new. I've done the first 3 days. I can show you what you need to do. Like, it's just for a free community that you don't pay to be there. Like, the level of acceptance and diversity and inclusion and just love and support is just amazing. I'm so proud of the culture we've created in that community.
No, that sounds phenomenal. And in this climate, this is exactly what you need. People need to have a safe space to go, not to be judged, to feel that they can get the support and not be questioned on because I think one of the key things this is another question. One of the key things is people look beyond and say, well, that person's doing that much, I'm not doing enough. Or because they are here, what am I doing wrong? Or I can't even do what they've done because I haven't got the encouragement or the courage to start and step out. But people, I've seen from what you're describing, there's different levels. Someone's just joined, someone just created their business. And we are learning all the time, and we should be learning from others if they've been honest about it. Reading those books, I mean, I'm sure you agree, read the books of success. As long as they're giving us the nuggets, you'll get it in the nuggets. They'll be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely. And, what advice would you give to somebody to step out? I know a lot of people in this season that have said, oh, I've got a business in my mind, but I just can't think what it could be. And one of my things has always been your passion, your bliss will lead you to it. It's something that really excites you, really gets you going, is what is something that you should do in some form. We don't know what it is yet. You can't necessarily define it, but there's something that is your heartbeat and you can't stop thinking about it, or it's something you really get excited about. That's my thing. Your passion leads to the purpose, but the purpose has to give something, then it even just explodes. That's my take on it. But what do you feel would be the way you'll present it to somebody for them to just dig a bit deeper about themselves?
Well, I think first and foremost, there's always room for new voices. There is always, doesn't matter how many people are already out there also being a coach or also doing the kind of thing that you're dreaming of doing, there is space for you. And I think people think, oh yeah, but the marketplace is so crowded. Like, it doesn't matter. When you stand at the forefront of your business, people are going to connect with you, not with what you do. And that's how you'll find real awesome clients. But before that, like I've done it many ways, like in the sense of I've tried to go it alone and just figure it out as I go along. And you can do that. Like, of course, you could get everything you need off of YouTube. Like, it's all out there. But you're going to be struggling with all the different ways to skin a cat. This person says use LinkedIn. This person says don't use LinkedIn. This person says do that. This person says, and all that conflicting information. What you want to do is you want to find someone who has walked the same path as you and invest in working with them. If there is a business coach out there that has put together a mastermind or group coaching programs, or they have become the kind of thing that you're looking to become, to just take the time and the money to invest in that coaching. Because I've spent over 100 grand in my own business education. And that's including flights to countries to go to conferences, but also memberships to things and coaches. And the best investment I ever made in myself was 10 grand to hire a business coach. And it wasn't that she taught me anything particularly new. Like I already understood about this lot of stuff, but you're too close to yourself You know, it's like nursing, you know, like one of my kids gets ill, all my nursing stuff's out the window. I'm too close to it, you know. And so I think everybody needs a coach. And I think if you've got the resources, and believe me, like, if you want this enough, you'll manage to figure it out. Like, I figured it out, you can figure it out, of how you can find the money to invest in yourself. But I think that is the fastest and the best way to move forward, you know, in a new business idea, is to get that support, whether it's for a business coach, whether it's a group, whether it's just getting into a course to understand the basics of marketing, etc. But you've got to invest in yourself and find someone that can help you figure out, like, what is the path that I need to take? What's the A, B, C, D, E structure to get me over there? What are the stepping stones? And if you do that, it just fast tracks the whole process. You'll be years figuring it out, compared with, you know, getting your business set up, running and profitable within a year.
So they got the business coach, but also just to even understand what your passion and your business could be. Life coach, do you sit down and speak to them, and then you speak about yourself? A lot of people got blocks to just even move to the next level. We, you know, people that work in a day job, people that might have started a little business and just put it off because they're put off because they think they're doing things wrong. That block that a lot of people have to take it to the next level, to be courageous like you was, and say, well, I'm going to do little shifts here by here, and then soon I'm going to leave. And then they make that step. And you have children and you still made the step. People always find an excuse. I've got mortgage, I've got this. But where can they start for that stage to even make the decision going, I'm going to do this? I can paint, for example. Some people can paint, but they've never even thought about doing a business in it. They just do it as a hobby. And everyone is just saying, my God, create a business on that. They're like, oh, no, I wouldn't ever do that. But that courage to use, because we've all been given a passion and a purpose. We all have. People go, no, I haven't got any. I get told, oh, Renee, you're a singer. You've got so many skills. No, you have too. You just haven't discovered them or looked deep enough within you to know what it is. How can that be brought out of somebody is the question.
Yeah, I think you said it just there, like, coaching is a great way, because the definition of coaching is just asking powerful questions. And you can ask yourself those powerful questions, right? I bought an amazing pack of cards the other day called Go Mad coaching questions. And it's a pack of cards, like there's literally like aces, jokers, all the things in there. And there's just coaching questions on there. And you just sit and you answer the questions. You know, it could be like on a scale of 0 to 10, what is your level of self-belief? You know, and then you score yourself. And then it's like, okay, well, what number do you want to be? And it's like, well, what's in the gap between where you are now and where you want to be? And just asking yourself questions like that. But that's what a coach will do. A coach will sit and help tease out of you, like, what is it that you, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What is it that you, what is it that was inside of you that needs to come out? But I think as well, just to explore and just, you know, doing courses, join a community. It depends on what your budget is. It depends on where you are. But I honestly feel, and you would have felt this before as well, it's like when you know, you just know.
You invest in yourself. You find it. And nothing else matters. Like, that's your focus. Yes, you have friends and communities and people, but it's almost like this is your baby is you, and you go, right, what do I need to move it to the next level? And hours in the day matter not either, even though I've got to get better and work smarter, but you will work through the night to finish off a brief. You will work through the night to do whatever's required to make it. You will, won't you?
Yeah, it's massively is about as well surrounding yourself with the right people. Because, you know, like, let's say you go and tell your friends, do you know what, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to be a millionaire one day. And they go, yeah, all right.
That's like, awesome. Start laughing at you. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a massive turning point for me as well. You know, you mentioned mentors earlier. Mentors is like a startup business, you know, online business community that teaches you all of the basics of marketing from scratch and how to get started with things like e-commerce and affiliate marketing, etc. And one of the biggest things for me there was like, there was one day when they had an event on in Arizona, right? And I'm in the UK, and I've been meeting with some of these people online, you know, like on Zoom and like seeing them on webinars and building those online connections, which we're all more familiar with now because of COVID.
Zoomed out.
And one day, like someone was saying, you need to come to this event in Arizona. And I was, doing the excuse thing. Oh, I can't, I've got kids, I've got a husband and all of this and that. And then I eventually was just like, I'm just going to go. Like, what would happen if I just went? And I booked the tickets and I came home and I said, you're going to kill me, probably. You're probably going to kill me, but I've just booked tickets to go to Arizona. I'm going to be there for 6 days and you've got the kids. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I got on that plane and I flew out to Arizona, and I had never left the country without my family. I was with my husband since I was 15, right? Yeah. So I had, in my adult life, I had not left the country without a parent or a husband, right? Of course. And I got on that plane and I was terrified. And do you know what? The angel sent me this man called James. He was 94. He was from Arizona, and he was sat with me the whole way there, and he made me feel so calm. I loved that guy. He was amazing. He was visiting his girlfriend in London, right? He was like 94. There's a video somewhere of that. But yeah, and I flew out there, and I got off that plane and I checked into the hotel in Arizona, and I met some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life. Like-minded, fun, hilarious people that also had the same drive, the same determination, and the same mission as me. And we're still friends today. We're still really close, and we build our businesses side by side, and we have, we're a close circle of friends. And the power of surrounding yourself with the right kind of people is immense. I think it's why physical events and networking and all of that kind of stuff is so close to my heart, because when you really do find that tribe of people, like, it pushes you forward so fast.
I love that.
We even like went to Grand Canyon together in a minibus, and we were sat in the Grand Canyon shooting ads to put out on YouTube together. And it's just they've been there for me through thick and thin throughout the whole of the last couple of years, 2-3 years of going through all the stuff that I went through to get to where I am now. And I've tried to do it alone as well. And I remember when I was running my eBay business, I remember calling my dad and, people that were also running businesses, but nobody I knew was running an online business. There was no one to turn to for advice on stuff. And when you've got a bunch of stock sitting in a port and it's getting port fees and you can't get it out the port because there's a problem with this paperwork, and every hour it's in there, it's incurring more money, and you just got no one to turn to or speak to, and you're just on your own out at sea, like really confused and lost and not knowing what to do. So that's a massive thing as well.
No, I think you're completely correct. I think one of the takeaways I've got is your network. They say your network is your net worth, isn't it? And everyone would have had an experience, and people, sometimes it's the ego in them. They go, no, I can do it. I know everything. I'm learning. And they're embarrassed to ask questions, different levels of their career or different levels of their age. So because I'm 38, 49, 50, I should know. How dare I have to ask a 23-year-old? They almost get very egotistic about it and very prideful. But every stage of your career, you can learn something from everybody. And that's important. And if you think of some of the big conglomerates and the massive brands that we know, they're very clever. They surround themselves around all types of people. So they're always learning. So network is so important, because you just said you was able to ask somebody, because one of the worst things is being in a business and you've got no one to turn to, or you have an obstacle and you've got no one you can ring. But that's what's important. That's what we don't realize. When you have these people, you can go, well, I've got this legal agreement, and what is it? Is it trash or is it correct? They're like, waste of time. And you've got that answer immediately because it's a friend who happens to be a lawyer. Don't just surround yourself, and I've done this, around people who are only in entertainment. I have industry people. That means they're in everything that they can possibly be in. So I can call them and ask them anything. You've just said it.
Yeah, the power in that. I mean, I have my own network now. So like literally anything I need, I have people come to me like, I need help with this. Oh yeah, go and speak to him. Go and speak to her. She's the one, he's the guy. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, a whole directory.
My question is to you, I always ask this question. You've got your Rebellious Business Network. Are you writing a book? You're an expert now.
I want to write a book. I really do. The next thing is podcast,
okay,
and physical events. A book is definitely on the horizon, but I'm
Mm.
just so busy right now. Like, we've got over 50 people going through our courses and in our masterminds and stuff. And my priority is making sure they got everything that they need, and that, you know, and then I've got 3 young children, and we've just been through all of that. It sounds like I'm pulling excuses, but I think it's really important to know what your current priorities are, and to make sure that you don't take on too much, because it's a bit like spinning plates. You try and spin up 3 plates at the same time and they're going to crash. You want to get one spinning and then get the next one up and then the next one. So yeah, the podcast is next. And then hopefully we can get into some live physical events. My dad was actually the founder of the Isle of Wight Festival. So I've got events. I've got events in my blood, and we want to launch the Rebellious Business Festival next year. That's something that we really want to do. So
amazing.
Really excited for that.
And then what would you say, you're an entrepreneur, what would you say to any budding people listening in and thinking, where do I go? We spoke about quite a lot, so they've got some real good nuggets here. But what are the things that you would advise somebody who really wants to make a start and just move to the next level? This year, they've decided, I want to create a business. What would you say to them, like if they're in front of you and they're on one of your courses, just like a synopsis?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, one, why haven't you done it already?
Yeah, I know.
And then let's talk about that. And then also, you know, finding out, like, what is this business idea, and who do you need to talk to? Where do you need to go to get that support? Because it could be a networking event, it could be a live event like Expert Empires. I'm speaking at Expert Empires in April with Marie Forleo and Rob Moore, and a place like that is a great event to go to and mingle and meet people. You got to get into the business world and meet some people and find out, you know, what is the right strategy for me, because it's literally just about getting a little plan in place and then starting to take small steps to execute that plan. But it's difficult to just answer that question because I don't have any details, right? So I'm like, come talk to me, let's have a chat. You know, let me find out more about you, find out what's stopping you, you know, what your dreams are, what your goals are. But the biggest thing is get into a network, or jump on Clubhouse into a business room, or come along to somewhere like the Rebellious Business Network or Expert Empires, or there are events going on all over the place, and people are just so friendly and so welcoming. And if you just have the courage to put your hand up and say, I really want to start a business in this, you'll get people coming over to help you left, right, and center. It's just such an awesome industry. So yeah, I would just say, go for it, do some research, figure out, you know, what it is that you need help with and where those people are. Get into some Clubhouse rooms, come to the Rebellious Business Network, you know, ring up some coaches and have some, you know, everyone offers free consultations, you know, do some free consultations with coaches and just get some kind of basic direction from them of, they're going to recommend what they think that your next steps are, because that's a coach will take leadership in saying, look, I think you need this. And because also, you know, they're going to offer to work with you if they can give you what they need, but that you're going to get so much insight from doing that. So there's various things that you can do, but it's just, you got to immerse yourself in it. You have to immerse yourself in it, and you have to take every single opportunity that comes your way. And that means being a yes man or a yes girl for a year or so, then that's awesome. As you get more successful, you'll want to say no a lot of the time, because you can't just say yes to everything.
No, you can't. There's another thing, the power of no, because otherwise, as you said, you burn out, there's nothing left. And you then I love when you said about the priorities. I struggle with that. I've got so many people coming at me in different levels, and I want to work with them, and I want to help, and I want to do stuff, but then there's only one me. And I can't literally be pulled. Octopus, I am a little bit, but I actually will have to still look at my own well-being, my own self, you know, just nurturing my own self-happiness. So I think it's very easy to be pulled, and just knowing your limitations and being, you know, you said something about being curious, about being excited about what you're doing. A lot of us, you know, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm miserable about my future, miserable about what I'm offering as a service and what I'm involved in. I want to enjoy it. Still going to be a lot of work that goes around it, but I want to know that when as I say, the lights go out, I had a good time. I did the best I could. Am I right?
I love that. Yeah. Do you know, I one question to ask that I asked myself, you know, with this, when I was running that eBay business, is how would I feel if I'm still talking about this all day, every day, 10 years from now? Would I still have that excitement about it? And the answer was no. I can't have another conversation about dimensions and delivery dates and that kind of, there's no soul in it. Like, and when you start getting into like the business that you're passionate about, it's the conversations that change. You know, you're having conversations around a subject that is so empowering. Like us right now, we're talking about this kind of stuff. If I was still running that eBay business, I would still be talking about dimensions and oh my God,
and just watching paint dry. But you know what, it's interesting because you wouldn't maybe be here unless you was there. This is another thing. Sometimes you've got to have seen what it was to know what you want going forward. That's my take on it. So it is funny, but it's a part of your journey, and it's really important. Like, we hear these things quite spoken about in motivational speakers and different platforms, and the uncomfortableness you spoke about is so important. That pain that you go through drives you either down or up, and you chose for it to make you, there's no sink or swim, they say. You've looked at all the things and said, well, there's more to this. And the moment the light went on, that was it. There's nothing stopping you, and that you will not stop. You hear people who are entrepreneurs, they become serial entrepreneurs. They're involved in so many different things because you're meeting different people. And am I right in saying the more people you surround yourself, they're telling you what's going on? You hear about the ventures and actually, I've got this business, and you start partnerships. And before you know it, you're just involved in everything. Whereas before you was your little island. Now you're actually part of a whole country of people, you know? And I think that's really exciting about what you've done. I think you took courage. The things I've taken away from there is about your network is your net worth, without a shadow of a doubt. Just doing it and starting it, stop talking about it, go for it, and not being scared, because we are scared, and it's natural to feel fear. But the whole, sorry to use the pun, feel the fear and do it anyway, very much as such. You said about the why, so powerful. I read the book, Simon Sinek, thank you so much. I get it. I never understood it, but I knew it was in the circular. The why is so important. Everything you do has got to have a why to it and a purpose to it that's bigger than you. And then you also spoke about it being bigger. We are not here for nothing more than a bigger purpose. And the moment you think it's me, you would just stay in me. But the moment you realize there's so much bigger, there's so much better out there, excuse me, for you to share the world and to change the world, that's it. It's limitless. So the Rebellious Network, and I think you've explained where they can find you, but just to recap for anyone else that's listening again, how can they find you? How can they connect and be part of this? It's a free network, guys. It's what's even more exciting. Where do they go?
Just search Google for the Rebellious Business Network, search Facebook for the Rebellious Business Network, or search Instagram for Cordelia Kate. And it's the clickable link in there. The other thing you can do is just go to rebelliousbusiness.com, and that redirects to our landing page of the network. And you just join the Facebook group or sign up, and then we'll send you the in an email the Zoom link to come and join us at our next hangout on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. on Zoom. And we're also on Clubhouse now as well. So we're running speed networking on Fridays. I've been speed networking this morning with some amazing people. I've been finding great speakers to come and speak at the Rebellious Business Network as well. We've got amazing things lined up. We've got next week, we've got a copywriter. We've got someone that spoke about being confident on camera. We've got all sorts of people coming, from storytelling to just like really awesome parts of business, coming to share how to do them and how to improve at these areas, lined up at the RBN. We call it the RBN, Rebellious Business Network. But yeah, we're pretty easy to find. Cordelia Kate or Rebellious Business, just Google search it or go to Instagram and click on my link there.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you. And thank you for the listeners. I think you've got some gems here today. So you need to start. Don't put it off anymore. Go for it. Join the Rebellious Network. They will give you all the tips, and just be a part of a community that can make you better and make you grow. And, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to build a business. A lot of people want it to happen immediately. It will take time. You need to grow and you need to establish, but having a community of people like Kate that can help you. I keep calling you Kate, Cordelia, right. But obviously Kate you said people keep calling you that, so it's natural. Cordelia will be able to assist you and help you get you to the next level. So thank you so much, Cordelia, for joining me. It's been amazing. And guys, definitely tune in and check her out. You take care.
Thank you so much, honey. Lovely to meet you.
You're very welcome.